Hi guys, let me show you how to draft basic bodice pattern with waist and bust dart in a very simple way. Now, to know the actual inches for your bust dart, you have to tie a rope around the waist before taking measurement, because the front measurement is going to be longer than the back measurement, just like it is shown on the screen. So I'm going to start with my front pattern. So this is my starting point and this is my center front. On my starting point, which is my shoulder line from the center front, I'm going to input half of my shoulder measurement, which is here, and from there I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So I'm going to connect just like this. So from this point now, I'm going to measure out half of my round armhole, which is 8 inches, and it's here. So I'm going to measure what I have on my shoulder line, repeat it here for me to draw accurate measurement for my armhole line. So I'm going to connect now, just like this. What I have here, I'm going to repeat it here for me to draw out my chest line to make it accurate. So having done that, I'm going to connect it straight. So this is my chest line now. After doing that, I'm going to measure my neck width of 3 inches, which is the standard measurement on my shoulder line from the center front. And I'm measuring 5 inches from the shoulder line downward for my for my neck depth. So to make it accurate, what I have on my shoulder line, which is 3 inches for my neck width, I'm going to repeat it here. And I'm going to connect it like so. After that, I'm going to measure 1.5 inch upward like this. So I'm going to connect it round for my front neckline, just like this. Having done that, I'm going to measure my bust point line from my shoulder line, which is 10 inches, from my shoulder line to my waistline, which is 16 inches, and from my shoulder line to my hip line, which is 23 inches. So I'm going to add extra 2 inches to it for my bust dart. So I'm going to connect all the points now. I'm going to roll them out to form straight lines. So after rolling them out, I'm going to label the lines to avoid silly mistakes. So now I'm going to measure out my nipple to nipple measurement from my center front. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5 inches. I'm going to add half inch sewing allowance to it from my chest line, from my bust point line till I reach the bottom of my top, and I'm going to connect it straight. After connecting straight, I'm going to measure half inch on my waistline on both sides and 2 inches from my bottom upward, just like this. After doing that, I'm going to measure 2 inches downward from my bust point line, and I'm going to connect my darts like this. So having done that, on my bust point, on my chest line, I'm going to input quarter of my bust. My bust is 36 inches divided by 4 will give me 9 inches plus half inch ease allowance. So on my waistline, I'm going to do the same thing. Quarter of my waist plus 1 inch dart. I'm going to do the same thing on my hip line as well. Quarter of my hip plus 1 inch to be on the silver side, and I'm going to connect like so. So from the side here, on the side here from the bottom, I'm going to measure 2 inches upward and connect with the cuff side of my ruler to make it look a little bit sexier. Now for my bust dart, I'm going to measure 2 inches from my bust point line and measure 1 inch outward from my nipple to nipple measurement line. And I'm going to connect like so. Find the middle of this line and connect it straight, just like this. So I'm coming out from this line by half or 1 inch to create a room for my bust to avoid short of fabric at the end of the day. And I'm going to connect like so. I'm cutting, this is my dart now. I'm cutting out this, and this is the dart for my bust. I'm coming back to the front part. Let me move on to the back part. So this is the center line for the back part. From the shoulder line, I'm going to measure 1 inch downward like this and connect for my zipper allowance. So this is my zipper allowance line. From this line now, I'm going to measure half of my shoulder measurement on the shoulder line. From there, I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and I'm going to connect. I haven't done that. From this point, I'm going to measure out half of my round armhole, which is 8 inches. To make it accurate, what I have on my shoulder line, I'm going to repeat it here. And I'm going to connect my armhole line just like this. And to get my chest line, what I have here, I'm going to repeat it here for me to draw out my chest line for the back part, and I'm going to connect. So this is my chest line for the back part now. Now I'm going to measure my neck width from my center back, which is 3 inches, my neck depth from my shoulder line, which is 1.5, and I'm going to connect just like this using the curved side of my ruler. If you don't have your curved ruler, you can use your free hand. Having done that, I'm going to connect my shoulder slant like this. So from my shoulder line now, I'm going to measure out the waist of my back part, which is 14 inches, and from my shoulder to the full length of my top, which is 23 inches. I'm going to roll them out. Now, after that, I'm going to measure out my nipple to nipple measurement on my chest line, doing that on my waistline, and I'm going to do that at the bottom of my top as well, and I'm going to connect. So there is a little mistake on the bottom here. I'm cross-checking and I'm going to reconnect it. That is the importance of pattern drafting. So on my waistline now, I'm going to come in by ½ inch on both sides for my dart. From my chest line, I'm coming down by 1 inch. So from the bottom, I'm coming up by 2 inches. So I'm going to connect all the points now, just like this. So this is the dart for my back part. So after shading out my dart, I'm going to input quarter of my bust on my chest line, quarter of my waist plus 1 inch dart on my waistline, and quarter of my hip on my hip line plus 1 inch is to be on the silver side. So I'm going to connect it like so. After connecting, I'm going to measure 2 inches from the bottom on the side like I did on the front part, just to make it look a little bit sexier at the bottom here on the side part. So I'm connecting with the curved side of my ruler just like this. So, and I'm going to shade it out. This is where I'm cutting out. So I'll go ahead and draw my armhole curve by me dividing these 2 points into 2, and I'm going to place my curve ruler like this to connect it just like this. So having done that, I'm going to come on my waistline here to avoid zip bulge at the back part. Just measure ½ inch inward like this, and I'm going to connect from here to here and from here to the bottom part just like this. So I'm done with the back part. So I'm going to shade where I'm cutting out. I'm cutting this place out. So what I'm cutting out at the back part here, I'm going to replace it here to avoid short of fabric at the end of the day. I'm going to reconnect it just like this. So this is the back part now. I'm cancelling this line because I'm using the second line, the new line. Now I'm done with the back part. Let me move on to the front part for me to complete the drafting on it. So this is my shoulder slant, connecting it to the neckline. So what I have here, I'm going to divide it by 2, and from this point I'm measuring 0.75 inward for me to connect it slantly like this, and I'm going to finish it up with the curve side of my ruler just like this. This is my front armhole curve now. So I'll go ahead and cut the two out now for you guys to see. This is my front part, I'm cutting it on fold. This is my back part, I'm cutting one piece of the back part, two pieces of the back part, one piece of the front part. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. Just watch what I'm cutting. Now I'm done cutting the two. As you can see, it's very nice and beautiful. Make sure, can you see the effect of that 2 inches for my bust dart? I'll just fold it like this while sewing for me to stitch my bust dart. I'm going to fold it like this. I'm going to cut the excess out now to make it accurate on the side part. So if you are cutting it on the fabric, just make sure you had all the necessary allowances. I'm just trimming this side to make it accurate, as you can see. So now, can you see that? Both sides are accurate now. So if you want to cut it on the fabric, just make sure you had ½ inch on the neckline, shoulder line, and the armhole line. On both sides, make sure you had 1.5 to 2 inches and 1.5 to 2 inches at the bottom part as well. So guys, if you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Please show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Akorede Adenike Sewing Tutorial. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye for now.